Okay, I'm 40. I'm about to turn 44. Youngest on the show. Just thought I'd throw it out.
Just a woman here, man.
Just to bully my
co-host. What's wrong with you?
Outing my
you literally just pushed Colette
You literally
into
just
traffic.
called me old.
Yeah, that is the. That's
I
what makes you
feel
the bad
comfortable
one.
with you,
Didn't
Colette.
I cry about my forehead last week?
Last week she's talking about, oh, look at my wrinkles,
that's
and
how
now
you-
you're like, look at this old bag.
No, that's how you know you're my friend. I just give you, I'm razzing.
Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome to Love Thy Neighbor. We've got Colette Jane Fehr on the couch with us, as always, longtime relationship therapist. Super busy.
Yeah. There's no other way to describe
book is coming
her
out
now.
next
Yeah.
week, and we just heard this morning that it is sold out.
Yes.
The release party at the Mercedes-Benz dealership in Maitland.
Congratulations.
Thank
that deserves a
you.
little love.
Thank you. I'm so excited, and I'm so grateful for all the community support, and it's just going to be so much fun.
I also noticed that when you announced, when you made her introduction, you used her middle name. I would also ask that you do the same for me.
All right.
What is your middle name?
It's Southern Bumpkin.
We got Dan Lee Dennis.
Dan Lee Dennis.
Oh my God, that is
Hey, that's
so
Dan Lee.
perfect.
Hey, Dan Lee. Where's Dan Lee? Get over here, Dan Lee.
Oh no,
In
I
fact,
want to call you Dan Lee every day.
do you know that was my name up until I got a job at Real Radio?
Really?
Yeah.
Dan Lee.
Yeah, my
Like,
mom
you
and dad.
went by Dan
Lee. Instead of Stanley, I went by Dan Lee. And it's the only Dan Lee I've ever, I know of no other Dan Lee. And my mom claimed that I was married after some musician friend she knew when she went to college at James Madison University.
Yeah.
I'm named after some guy named Dan Lee. And I'm the only Dan Lee I know. And then
I've never heard that before.
I hated that name so much. I hated it, Dan Lee. I was like, that is just dumb Stanley. And so I changed it to Dan. And when I had the chance, I changed it to Dan like my dad.
Wow, I can't believe I'm just learning that.
Yeah, well, I didn't really change it. My name is Daniel Lee, but I just choose to not. I'm like, we can forget the old Dan Lee part.
Daniel
But you know
Lee
what?
Den-
Now,
It
if
sounds
people
actually
started
kinda cool.
calling me Dan Lee Dennis, I'd be like, that's fine. I'm okay with it because I'm old enough to not care again.
I think Daniel Lee Dennis, it reminds me of like Daniel Day-Lewis. Like it sounds so
But the wonky one, it's like there's Daniel Day-Lewis and then there's Daniel
Dan
Lee
Lee.
Dennis.
Colette doesn't know that much about us, or we don't know that much about Colette.
I know. There's no. I feel like like you are a blank canvas to me, so I've done so little damage to you. Like the reputation that you hold in your mind of me is so. I love it. I don't want to do anything.
Probably
don't ruin it.
Yeah.
Didn't even know I used to wear a bear suit for a living.
yeah. You didn't know that, did you?
That will make your opinion of me.
Did you see how she goes? You did not, and then she started hilariously laughing.
I know, I'm like crying.
All right,
Yeah,
so
okay.
let's go from that to a horrible tragedy.
Yeah. 'Cause that's what we do best.
Shifting gears.
What we do best is to dive directly into sadness.
So a local story that I saw yesterday about a therapist that was murdered, a murder-suicide that happened. And I want to ask you about this, Colette, because you've been a therapist for a long time. And that patient relationship, speaking of relationships with your patient you have, there's a business relationship, it's super personal, that, and then...
And it's case by case, and the strength of said relationship can vary.
Yeah, I mean, so when you see that this happened, what do you think about this? Does it make you scared?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe we should explain what happened in case you aren't watching the news.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you come up to me and tell me, like I know Tom doesn't really watch the news much, I'm amazed that this made your algorithm.
I see this in my Facebook scroll. Because
I don't blame people now when they tell me. I used to be like, don't you want to be informed? Now when people say, like, well, I don't watch the news, I fully understand. In fact,
Me too. I'm checked out.
That book I'm reading, It Takes What It Takes, one of the things that Trevor Moab did that his father made him do is to just not watch the national news. And this is years before where we are now. This is like 20, 30 years ago. His dad, Bob Moab, the inspirational speaker guy, knew that was just, it's bad food for your head.
It affects your mental health.
It's bad food for your head.
It really
is.
is.
It's garbage in, garbage out. Like, don't put it in your brain. And you naturally been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, it's hard because the other side of it is then you're putting your head in the sand and you're not informed of what's going on.
I don't know. It sounds pretty good. Head in the sand doesn't sound bad.
But then but I think there is a balance, and the balance is hard to deal with, and that's just like everything in life. Like,
But anyway,
I'm opting for head in the sand right now.
To get to the story, though, there was a counselor or a mental health professional who had after-hours appointments, I believe, and was taking said appointments. And one of, I believe, a prior client with bad intentions showed up and then killed the professional, the counselor, and then hurt or injured the other patient that was there at the time.
He was critically injured.
Oh, I didn't know
So this
that.
was a former client. Now, it has come to light that this man, first of all, the therapist's name is Rebecca White. It's really so tragic. I did not know her, which surprised me because I feel like I know every therapist. It seems like such a small world, but I know people who knew her and just say wonderful things about how like warm and passionate and how much she really cared and gave in service. And she was a very brave individual, and that mental health's a hard job to begin with, but she worked with offenders. And this is a really, really tough population to work with. And obviously she was really passionate about
What do you mean offenders?
the people who had been convicted of crimes.
Okay, all right. So,
Yeah.
so I didn't know that there was a therapist, I guess, division of therapy that works specifically with criminals.
Well, it's not like a branch of the government. Like an
I like how you took that. I very much enjoyed where you were going with that.
That's
Tom's
your
like, I
special.
didn't know
Tom
there
was
was like
ready
a
to thank you for your
division.
service.
That's the worst
He's like,
division.
my God. He stood up and started saluting.
But I think it is, obviously people, like all people, deserve mental health help. We
Sure.
need more of this. And I found out.
Especially those that may have been or coming from an area like imagine if you had been addressing your mental health prior to the crime.
Right.
You
Right.
know, like-
well, and we know hurt people,
Sure.
right? Like a lot
God,
of times.
that's so good. I wish I thought of that. That is one of the ones that when people say it, I'm like,
It's
I
true.
was right there the whole time.
It's really true. So not everyone who's done something, I'm not trying to make excuses for bad things that have happened in the world, but a lot of people really could be like rehabilitated and need help with that. So it's really admirable that this woman was willing to do this. And in this case, it turns out that this former client had really a violent history, had been in jail for 19 years, had sexually battered a woman under really grim circumstances. And we don't have to like do a deep dive into it, but this is somebody who a lot of people are saying, this guy never should have been out. And I don't know the circumstances of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know the circumstances of her relationship with him, but it sounds like he was not well in any way. And he came to the office. She was with another client. She said, you need to leave. And this is what I'm getting from the papers. I don't really have any inside information. And her other male client came out and said, hey, guy, if you don't leave, like, I'm going to call 911. And he stabbed both of them. And this other man who is her client's in the hospital. He's expected to recover. And then this perpetrator fled the building and murder-suicide. It was a murder-suicide. Killed himself. Yeah. So it's just an absolutely...
Apparently killed himself in like... Not to bring this up, but I always try to read through this stuff, and it seemed like he killed himself in front of like a church or something, like in the parking lot. It's almost like a statement suicide, you know. Like you see, you know what I mean? Like this is just a huge mess.
Obviously, mental illness, and then it's like
and a person with a serious history of violence. Knife violence against women. So it brings up, in a sense, you could say, oh well, this guy was like, a train wreck, or that's why this happened. But it does also really bring up that as therapists, we're very vulnerable. There isn't a lot of safety for us. It has made me feel scared. It's really shaken the therapist community. I no longer work at night, but I used to. And there were a couple times that I used to work in Maitland, that I had my husband just come be in the building because there was nobody there.
Tom lives in Maitland, rough area.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
There's a shot at Tom. I was just trying to trying to take a shot at his home value.
I just think as women too, there's just so much violence against women still. So it just brings up so many things. And most importantly, it's really a terrible tragedy. But I found out in the midst of all this, I'm going to be speaking at the Orange County Mayor Deming's Women's Forum in March.
Okay.
And I found out in our meeting that Florida is 49th in the country in mental health funding, which is really sad. I don't know
Wow,
how
I would have guessed 50.
Yeah, I would have guessed 50.
I mean, there are places like Louisiana out there, okay? I used to live there, so I say that with love.
I'm completely fine with it as long as I can order my pub sub with the biggest long gun I own on my back.
But like we need to do. I mean, it's really bad. Everyone comes to Florida, right? There's a reason.
It does
Florida
feel like
man.
our priorities are a little wackadoodle.
Every time you see a headline of like a violent, crazy crime that makes no sense, it is literally in Florida, and yet we have no funding for mental health.
And before people say it, some of that is some of the laws that we have when it comes to releasing, criminal stats and stuff like that. Like a lot of times, Florida makes the newspapers more because a lot of other states it's buttoned up a little bit more.
Is that true? Okay, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
because my mom in New York is literally like, Colette, why every time I go to the grocery store is every headline where you live?
Like public record here in Florida is wide open.
Okay.
So because there are crazy things happening in every state, it's just a lot of those states have, whether it's law enforcement or whatever their guardrails are, it's EJ saying sunshine laws. I don't know if that's correct, but I do know that
well, that makes me feel a little better.
It should
I'm like,
make you
are
feel
we
better.
just the nuttiest place on earth? But seriously,
it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, because everybody comes here. We're the third in population now. I just think, taking a minute to realize there are people out there who really dedicate their lives to helping. Like this woman did not have to work with this population. She was really trying to help, and she lost her life. And therapists need more protection, but also we need more mental health. Like no matter what, we really do. People need help, and there should be resources. Not everyone can pay.
A couple things. There's a saying that crazy goes south. So we are the Australia of the United States.
Yeah.
And Australia was a penal colony.
No,
that's right.
Well, that's right. Like we're the red hot penis of the United States, and everybody crazy person's like, let's go there.
Oh my God, we are the red hot penis.
Now, did you go to Red Hot Penis because she said penal colony? Is that where you got that?
It takes that little for all roads to go to penis.
It's so fast to penis.
And then second, and listen, I don't know what that solution is. I'm just gonna say that I'm 40. I'm about to turn 44, youngest on the show. Just thought I'd throw it out there.
My God,
Just
there's
a bully,
a woman here, man.
Just a bully.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Outing my
you literally just pushed Colette
You literally
into
just
traffic.
called me old.
Yeah, that is the. That's
I
what makes you
feel
the bad
comfortable
one.
with you,
Didn't
Colette.
I cry about my forehead last week?
Last week she's talking about, oh, look at my wrinkles,
that's
and
how
now
you-
you're like, look at this old bag.
No, that's how you know you're my friend. I'm razzing you. Giving you a little guff. Anyway, so
Youngest on the show, whitest sideburn.
all I'm saying
He's
is,
shakeable. Look at him. He's shakeable.
is that after all this time of living, the most problem I've seen in my life is, and you can put this on the spectrum of like being mentally healthy, is like addiction and mental health, right? And there's a huge spectrum, and I think when we say, oh, you're mentally unhealthy, people immediately go to the end of the spectrum with the person that is on the side of the street screaming and is like, they got doo-doo on them and birds, and then it's like, oh, that's a mentally unhealthy person. Like, no, it's a spectrum, and it affects people that are good at life and their mental health. Like, and so we all, if you don't work on it as a society and you don't put funds to it, we're going to keep having, like, especially the extreme, but look at all the middle. Like, we see extreme murder and stuff, and they're scared of that, but there's a huge middle chunk of just people that are suffering.
Yeah, that need
addiction.
support.
Addiction is a huge problem.
That have lost a job, that are going through a divorce, that are prone to depression. Like life is hard, so it is really important. And
we
you're
only
right.
tend to look at the polls, right? We only tend to look at the polls when if we fix the middle,
right?
And
I mean, I really think that we'd fix a lot.
And we're on a continuous cycle of like being, raised in a society of like, you got to work your ass off as hard as you possibly can, and no breaks. And
so true.
And then, it's like, and then so they were being exposed to all these images of people that are fake, that are like of the perfect life and stuff, and you're just working your ass off, and you're like, I can't get it together, and I'm looking at the people with the best lives. Like, we are a mentally unhealthy society.
You're right. No, you're right. We're like toxic. We're poisoned because the deep fake thing, I'm glad you brought that up. That is like affecting kids now. In elementary school are being deep faked and having nudes of 10-year-olds. Like we're in really scary times because of what we're capable of doing and how technological everything's become, which is good in some ways, but it's having an impact on our relationships, and it's definitely affecting mental health for regular average people. You know, it's not just the extremes.
And I would I'd vote or put whatever resources towards our society's mental health. That if someone was based on a platform of like, hey, I want to help society's mental health, I'll be behind that. I don't know how you could be against it. But anyway, let's move on to a different topic.
Yes.
A personal topic I want to ask you, Colette.
Oh, I can't wait.
It dawned on me right when we started the show. I talk about how busy you are, your book launch and stuff. You're a very driven person. How does that affect your husband? Okay, because if your spouse is super driven, and let's say, and not that your husband isn't as driven as you or whatever.
This guy's a load.
But
he don't want to do nothing.
Everybody.
That would be so funny.
He does joke that he's like, I'm happy to be a stay-at-home husband.
He made such a good impression on me. Like, I just think he's the coolest.
He loves you guys.
He was just so fun to hang out with. And then I think I'm like, my dad had this where I like, look at this guy, hang out with him a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's a 4 Coors Light Danny guy. You know, like that's the top tier like award I can give somebody. Is like, I would drink 4 beers with this guy right now.
Okay, he's gonna love this show today.
Yeah, but
he's gonna love hearing.
He comes off like it wouldn't rattle him. Like if you became the most powerful like therapist, let's say he became a super Hollywood therapist.
Yeah.
I don't think it would shake him. I don't think he'd change a second.
Yeah,
No,
but that's a hard partner to be with. You know, that someone that's up early, just grinding all the time. It probably doesn't you don't give yourself that many excuses or like or like you're very hard on yourself because a lot of driven people are. My wife, not that I'm a driven person, but like I'm trying, and my wife's like, quit being so hard on yourself.
You're too hard on yourself.
It's hard to live with someone that's walking around.
How are you hard on yourself?
I say that to him too.
What does that look like on a day-to-day basis?
I'm like, you idiot.
That's what I
and he becomes Ren instead. He becomes that's Ren,
how I
right? The
grew up.
little Chihuahua.
That was my dad.
Idiot. You're ruining this whole company. Do you know how rich Dan could be if he were alone right now?
That's not a bad Ren.
Oh, yeah, I'm just
That's actually really good.
Anytime I don't get up as early as I wanted to or whatever, I'm like mad at myself.
He'll do
or
it
like,
here.
if I don't exercise as
He'll do it
long as
here.
I should or whatever.
Can I give a
Or
real one?
I didn't land a client. I'm like,
I'll give a real one. If it dawned on him, that like maybe we didn't work hard enough, which is going to happen, right? You're going to not be able to think of everything. It's almost like you go back and punish yourself for it. Like you should have done better. You ruined it.
And it's the shoulds.
And it sounds insane, but then I'm like,
I do it too.
I don't know because I feel like I'm so bad at life inside that I'm fighting my laziness and I don't want to do nothing. I just want to.
Say I never think of you as being lazy, so you hide that really well.
I feel so lazy.
But by beating yourself up with your inner voice.
Yeah. And then my wife's like, no one wants to be around this. And I'm like, God damn,
Well,
you're right. This lady's right.
She has a point. It is hard to be around you. You've seen it with me. Our tensions go higher when I feel like you're being negative to yourself.
Yeah. It's like, lighten up, buddy. And then I can imagine. Then I'm like, well, Colette's like this. She's a businesswoman, driven, hardcore.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, man.
Do you ever give yourself the lighten up? Buddy?
So I'm so glad this is
up,
coming
buddy.
up because I actually think this could be helpful to people. I hope it will be. A lot of people are hard on themselves. I used to be, but it's actually really, so it's the belief typically when we have what we call the inner critic, right?
Yeah.
Which tends to give a lot of shoulds and be really hard on ourselves. It is the belief that we won't be all we can be, or we won't work, we'll stay in bed, we'll do nothing unless we drive ourselves that way. But really research shows that people are successful despite that, not because of it.
Yeah.
And those parts of self that are really hard on us internally tend to develop early in life when we don't have an adult within to help guide us in a more encouraging, loving way. So I know this sounds like therapy speak, but this really is a big deal for mental health, no matter how great your life is, that most of us could benefit from instead of driving ourselves by cracking a whip and being like, you're stupid, you're an idiot, which actually your subconscious mind hears as the truth. Whatever you're saying to it, like if you say Christmas is on July 8th and Santa's coming and he's real, you say that over and over, that's going to feel like a fact. So when you tell yourself you're an idiot, you're stupid, get your ass out of bed, and all of that stuff is actually sinking into your psyche and making you feel terrible about yourself, which actually is bad for your relationships
doesn't- yeah.
and your mental health. So the other way is to notice what you're feeling and say, maybe I didn't do my best, for example. Let's say you had a day where you weren't productive and you said, I'm just make up something for me. Like I am working so much that like I will have a moment on the weekend that if I don't have to be doing something, I literally don't want to get dressed. I don't want to go outdoors. I want to like sit in a sweatshirt and like watch Netflix and just like dissociate. So it could be easy and tempting to later that day when I didn't get anything done, beat myself up and go, why did you waste 6 hours watching a stupid Netflix show? But what I've learned to do instead that we can apply to anything is to say like, okay, you know what? I needed a break. Like I was burned out. And so maybe I didn't get anything done today. That's okay. What can I do differently tomorrow? Or what does this tell me about how I'm living my life? I need more downtime, right? We've got to talk to ourselves with a kinder voice. Yeah. And also be willing to look at our mistakes and say, okay, maybe I didn't do my best here. What can I learn from this? And can I still give myself positive messages about who I am? Again, I know this might sound woo-woo to some people.
Which is hard,
but
right?
it's really important.
It's really
and you
hard.
can change. In fact, this is like, I do get into this a lot in my book. This is how important it is for your relationships. To your wife's point, like, it's not fun to be around you. When you're really critical, sorry to say it so factually.
But I get it. Can I because I'm not the wife, right? So I have a different perspective.
Yeah, let's hear your
you
perspective.
but you and I have talked about this, and I've talked about like the vibe thing, but I'm not married to him.
Yeah.
So it's not like
it doesn't affect you the same way.
It doesn't, but also
But
I
you see
understand his side, and it's not, I'm not giving him a pass.
What do you mean by that?
Because I do it too. I know what the negative self-talk feels like. I do it in a different way though. Mine's all internal, and it's a little deeper. Yeah. Maybe it's not so much business related. Mine's even a little more. I would classify it as being even more sinister, having to do with other problems that I'm dealing with now, like my mom and dad not being around, and what I think of myself.
Yes,
like
your
my
self-image.
my own personal opinion of who I am on this earth and what I provide to the listeners, to my daughter, to my wife, to you, to Tom. It's very low. So that's what I'm kind of working on right now. So when you say this, I fully understand it. I get it. I totally get it. I do it. I just also don't. I don't do it like that.
You don't do it as externally. But listen, this is what we're talking about here is the natural way the brain runs. It's the natural tendency is to be hard on ourselves. So this is why I'm saying this is also something that can change. And I think it would be really cool if you guys tune into this a little for yourselves. That self-image that's negative and can even go really deep, it can change. We're talking to ourselves constantly, even if we don't realize it. There's always messaging happening in the brain. So if you start to say nicer things, even if you don't believe it right away, it will change how you see yourself. Like I used to be super critical of myself and very perfectionistic and very like beating myself up for everything. I'm very sensitive. So if I mess up, I feel it. I feel embarrassed. I can feel the urge to be hard on myself.
I get hot.
Me too. Me too.
And you can tell.
Tingly.
Like you can tell when I've screwed up. Normally, if you really know me, if you know I screwed up, you could just look at me and look at the color of me, and you're like, oh yeah, you messed up.
Yeah, that's how I am too, Dan. I'm the same way. I'm super, super sensitive to all that. So the easiest way for someone listening, if you want to work on this a little, is to think about what would you say to a friend? What would you say to someone you care about or love in the same situation? And you will immediately shift into a kinder dialogue. You're not letting yourself off the hook. You're not going to not do better because you're actually nice to yourself. In fact, you will actually perform better for being nice to yourself.
God, you know what I want to say to you, and this
Tell
is
me.
so
It's
essy.
okay.
This is terrible. I'll say it for you. I'm just like, I just don't see it.
What do you mean?
Like when you're saying that, my therapist says it. I know you might even be thinking the same thing, Tom, but it is so hard. This is the hardest thing
You don't
I
believe
struggle.
it would change?
No,
or you
I
don't
do
believe it's worth it? Or you
I don't know. There's
Okay.
there's a weird disconnect. They're almost like I'm scared. I don't know. What
So-
am I scared of?
so-
Why don't I want to try it?
I have to think about it in terms of sports.
Performance.
Performance.
Okay.
And I'll explain
I
it like
like
this.
it.
So like,
Well, it's big in that, but there's a reason
What-
there's mental coaches, and I'm reading their books right now.
Yes.
if you are a high performing quarterback and you throw an interception, you will be coached to forget about it as fast as possible.
Yep.
Because dwelling on it will
Sap your performance.
affect
Yeah.
future performance.
Neutral thinking is the book I'm reading.
And so okay, you did make a mistake. It was your bad. You have to forget and then move to the next one and try. And you understand, but beating yourself up about it will affect future performance. So it's like, all right, this was a mistake. Only do better next time.
Because you can't
Quit
control
beating
it.
yourself up. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're really good at that. Like you are naturally a neutral
not
thinker.
really good
Not
at it.
always. I mean, but okay, you have more natural tendencies to do it. I want to give you the compliment because I see it. You know, like in this
Letting
book
it
I'm reading,
go.
they talk about that. Okay, you threw the interception. You threw 3 interceptions in the first half. They say that true, neutral. If you're going to do neutral thinking in that moment, you can't control these 3 interceptions, so they truly don't matter at the
It's a
time.
sunk cost.
All you
Everything
can
in the
control
past
is
doesn't
what
matter.
you're
Yeah.
doing at that moment. So the neutral thinker says there is no positive, there is no negative. It's like I got receivers.
It's just what is.
I practiced. I know what I'm doing. So let's do this.
Yeah.
But-
And think about it in a football game. Like right now, I've been watching NFL playoffs, and like if you really think about the psychology of that, I don't remember which game it was. I blame everything on menopause. I cannot remember a single thing. But the game where
I
it was
got that.
sleeting, because I watched all the playoff game. With the one where it was like sleeting, Texas, and they just like absolutely shit the bed. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
You're
that's
fine. No,
yeah,
I like that.
You know, it was just
Sexy when
horrible. It
women
was
curse.
horrible to watch. Like I felt so bad for them. But
Yeah.
to hang in there quarter after quarter when you're bombing and you're down a gazillion points, like you have to be able to go, okay, it happened, and now I'm shifting back into the present and trusting my training and my muscle memory, and like I can do this. If you spiral, nobody
Yeah.
would ever win.
But then you look into CJ Stroud's eyes, and you're like, this guy is freaking out.
freaking the F out.
Yeah, like he's trying to do what he's been coached, but he can't stop thinking about it. He's freaking out. So, Colette, I heard another story, and this is kind
Brady
of
can do it though. There is the inverse.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Well,
Brady can do it. That
that's
guy,
why
he's
he's
a
the best.
neutral thinker.
He's
That
a
guy,
machine.
he's like, what do we
He might
got?
be a sociopath.
No, my wife says that. My wife says he's psycho.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
hates him
Well,
because
Yeah.
he's a psycho.
There's like something missing there.
He
Yeah.
loves football more than
Which
his
is why
family.
he's good. Yeah.
well, that's a thing in society that I often think about, where you see ultra successful people, and you're like, man, why aren't they successful? But you're like, you don't see what they've given up. Like there is no
The trade.
There is
You're
no.
right.
There is no free lunch. Like
Well said.
they may not have that much time with their family, or like as you have, or they might not have all these other things.
They may
Like,
lose their family, Tom.
They could
You're
be.
right.
That's
they-
what happened to Tom Brady.
There's some people that are.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, they
his
work-
wife literally left
No,
him
that's
for like
real.
a broke yoga teacher.
And there's nothing
'Cause how
wrong with
could you
that
be
if
married
that's
to
what he
that?
wants. Like, truly, this is
Agreed.
not my life. But I'm
That's-
just saying, if
that's-
he wanted a family, he
Right.
chose football.
There's a cost.
But that's
right.
not a partner. If that person, Tom Brady couldn't be a partner. It's impossible. Like he has to be the best quarterback in the world. You can't. You can't. It's
For him, I would
I don't
agree
even
with
think
you
it's
because I
possible.
think he was born to be a football guy.
It's like coaches.
Yeah.
You can't be these high. Like these people.
But there are some people who are super successful and they can create
balance?
some. I'm not saying it's not
They probably give
hard.
up some of their success, though. You got to give up some of it.
Maybe, but I think also, I just think that relationships are so nuanced. And back to what you asked me at the beginning about like how my husband feels about all this. I think there are some people who, first of all, I've never ever been in a relationship with a man who isn't attracted to an intelligent, driven woman, because I think that just wouldn't probably be a match for me. So I'm not saying
businesswoman. I know.
Yeah, I'm not saying
And it just so happens that Tom and I really like that, but
We talk
we
business.
are in the minority.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
honestly
not
believe
everyone likes that.
Not everyone
Yeah.
likes the stronger ladies. We like them strong.
But I'm
and
also
some
very
guys like the
soft.
submissive dum-dums, and that's fine too.
Ah,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Some
There
of
you
the
go.
dum-dums are
it's
good.
hard for me to even hear that. Yeah, okay.
You know, here's one thing I will say,
God.
and I'm not always serious on the show, but a submissive dum-dum will 69.
Okay, I would agree with that. I would agree.
That's
with
pretty
that.
good.
Thank you.
Everybody's
Hey,
gotta. Somebody's
good
gotta
sides
do
of
it.
both of everything.
Can't have everything. That's what you
Grass
said.
is always
Somebody's
greener.
got to do
Yeah.
it. But
Sometimes there's no grass on
but
it.
I want to also say, I consider myself smart and driven, but I'm also very soft and warm, and like I'm not like a hard ass. Like it's not that if a woman is smart and wants to have a career that she's necessarily like a tough bitch. And I
Of
do
course,
think
yeah.
that label gets like muddled. But anyway, my husband would be thrilled, I think, if I were making all the money and he could retire now. And, unfortunately, this is not possible for us. I don't think he would resent my success. I don't think he's the kind of man that would
I liked that guy.
Yeah, that
he's
would
like
feel,
us. I knew it.
Yeah, he's like, go make money. And I have a father who always made me feel like what I had to say was important and who likes intelligent women. So I had a model for this. But that said, what has been hard is that I don't have a lot of time, to your point. I'm not Tom Brady, but this book and all this stuff I'm doing has kind of taken over my personal life.
No trips, no fun, no going out on the weekends.
Right.
It's all this.
And my husband the other day said, I'm almost like scared to say this to you, which says that like,
oh
I'm
God,
on edge.
what's he gonna say?
He was like,
I'm gay.
You would think, right? I know.
You're like, oh my God, that's great.
Do you have a secret life?
No, and then you're like, that's perfect because I got this book going on. And
we can use this as a promotion.
Second book.
we can hit
When my husband told me he was
I'm
gay.
gonna whore you out so bad. My little gay whore husband. Oh, we're gonna be rich.
Well, it was not that, and now it's going to be very anticlimactic. But he was like, I'm hoping after your book comes out, we can get back to like a little bit of a normal life.
Yeah. He loves you and he wants time with you.
Right. And I think that's the hard part about a relationship is that you have to you want to go for your dreams, but then you do have to give time and energy to your relationships.
Yeah. And then it's hard to
Perfect example.
It's hard to slow down from that gear too.
Yep.
I
am stuck in it.
Yeah, you start, and then you're just like, I can do this. And then once it's time to slow down, you're like, I'm not
going to know what to do with myself.
The momentum is real, and you almost need
it's
it
like
to
you have to
on.
You almost have to downshift for like months to be able to get back.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I'm living on adrenaline right now. I am running from thing to thing, and I've been talking to other authors who are like, there's a serious crash after your book comes out. Yeah.
It was like me when I got back from the Olympics. I was like, I can't go back to normal society with all of these what was I calling them? Like,
normies?
No, I was calling civilians.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I can't do this.
I'm walking
around in the grocery store with all these slow people.
My brother,
I'm a sprinter.
My brother-in-law is an endurance athlete, and he tells me after
for real?
Yeah, like Ironman, does like
when Tom says things, he's not saying utter BS like I am.
No, but he tells me after.
I'm like, wait, is this as true as the Olympics?
After every big race, he goes through like a depression after a week later, and almost like once it ends, he has like almost no purpose, and then it's like there's this depression.
Right, you lose your purpose.
Yeah,
you lose your purpose.
It's this depression that sets in, and it's hard to deal with. So you have this huge accomplishment followed by an inevitable depression after, which sucks.
Yeah,
because you're like, man, I worked this hard, and now all I have to look forward to is depression for a week and a half after.
It's like coming home from a vacation.
He told me he tries to limit it by just planning, he'll plan the next one at the end of the other one. So even though he's not doing anything, at least his mind has something to look
that's actually a really viable strategy.
That's what he does, right?
Yeah.
He told me, and while he was eating 5 hamburgers and 3 beers, because he had exhausted so much calories training that he can just eat anything he wants. Pretty awesome.
I did hear a psychological trick to always have something planned to look forward to, that it does make you a little bit happier.
Yeah.
And you could do that with you could do that with your partner and just have little events, and you're always and then they have to be huge things. It's like, this little
and do
date,
new things,
and then
just new things, spice it up.
Yeah, and then just go through your calendar and put them in there.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
you guys are really good about doing that.
Y'all have phones, just put it in your calendar. That way, it's like, I'm looking forward to this, and then,
I think that's a great idea.
The Van family plans some damn adventures.
My wife does.
Fun.
She's good at it, dude.
But she's addicted to it, where she'll plan all these things.
You only got one life. I mean, I'd say it's a good addiction.
I tell her all the time, thank you for doing this, because I'm too lazy to do it. I wouldn't prioritize it, and then we always have these things that.
And it's really good for relationships. There's all kinds of research, and I've probably said it a million times here, that doing new things gives a boost of attraction. It actually keeps the glue in a relationship and the attraction between partners strong. And it doesn't have to be a big thing or an expensive thing. It can be as simple as going on a walk in a new location, literally. It's the brain needs newness, and when you do new things with your partner, it's good for your attraction and your connection.
Yeah, and a simple thing to plan.
And it's fun to have anticipation.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they show that the anticipation of a vacation has a better boost for your mental health than the vacation itself.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
That's how
Yeah.
the dentist is. We
Yeah.
only plan the vacation, never go.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, it was like frozen on Colette doing like the used car salesman double guns. And I'm
Are
like,
you? When did I even do
I don't
that?
know. It was
I don't
good.
even do that. What the heck
It looked
happened?
good. It looked good. Let me do some listener stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Love thy neighbor.
Gotta use it. This is from the same guy, Tom and Dan. I did marry way out of my league, so I know I have to treat her right. Thanks for including our emails in the show and talking about it. We started off 2026 with joy and laughter. Keep up the great work. Signed, Shrek Hawk. We'll keep him anonymous. That's not his real name. But there, if you want to see what they look like.
Yeah.
Listen,
oh my God.
I want to
He's
hear
very
some.
cute.
I want to hear
He's
some
very-
GD problems here.
They don't have
I want to
any.
hear.
No.
Oh my God, they
She's
are
attractive,
so cute.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
And
both
it-
adorable. Good for you.
Is it
guys.
okay to be honest with the guy and say like, "Oh, you absolutely outkicked your coverage"?
Yeah.
Hold on, is
By
it?
a lot,
For
dude.
sure.
Yeah,
Is it
by a lot?
Is
You did good.
Is it like the only?
No wonder he wants to appreciate
Yeah,
her.
that's kind of what I was thinking. The photo is that
I'm
bad?
kidding, I'm
is that
kidding.
bad to be honest and say like
Not
you
if you
should have
say it about
included
a woman.
photo and now I'm like, oh yeah, you outkicked your coverage because she is hot.
Hold on, maybe we stumbled across the only people that are listening to a relationship show are people in good relationships. It's kind of like you're listening to an AA show. You're on.
If you're drinking
if
like
you're not,
crazy.
you never listen to an AA recovery show. If you're drinking, you're just like, I'm staying away from that. I don't
The
want.
good news is literally everybody typically struggles with relationships
Nah,
if
yeah.
they're really honest. And not that some people aren't like really doing better than others. I'm happy for these people, but even when it's really good, it's still not easy. Like
Yeah,
human
yeah.
beings are
There's always something.
we're wild creatures. Yeah.
Look, chat room says even good relationships have problems.
All the
right.
time.
This is from obviously anonymous, and if you ever have an email that you'd like to give us, hello@lovethyneighborshow.com. And I check the emails like couple days a week. I'll grab them, print them out, and you might make the show. And as always, anonymous. Good afternoon, show. Firstly, I wanted to say my marriage is great. I would say been together since 14. We are both now 40. Kids are good. Sex is good. We are each other's best friends, etc. 98% no issues. However, I am autistic and have always struggled with executive function.
Okay.
So this has created a dynamic where I'm sort of fine with everything. As an example, I once had a sharp pebble in my shoe while I was working all day. I kept intending to remove it, but focused on something else, and I never did.
It's a great example.
By the bed at the end of the day, my sock was soaked with blood from thousands of tiny cuts. This is...
I don't mean to laugh at that.
yeah, that's a wild
You
story.
just walked around with a
Yeah.
rock in your shoe, stabbing your
and then you
feet.
get, and then,
My
Okay,
God.
and then at the end of the day,
neurodivergent.
What
at
the
the end of the
hell?
day, you take your shoe off and your sock is soaked in blood,
What the
and you're
hell?
like, oh my foot, oh.
And Tom laughs.
and then cue,
Well, that's
and
kinda
then
funny,
cue
though.
laughter.
Cue Tom laughing at someone's
Well, you
pain.
It was almost like me being the
There's
director.
a-
It's like, and cue laughter at dumb person.
You're not being tortured. Now you can get the rock out of your shoe.
Oh my gosh, but this.
But
this
you're one of
speaks-
these people,
but
right?
this
Like that he's
speaks to the
describing the
ASD.
it's fine guy. You're an it's fine guy.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
on the spectrum.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
just not bloody sock bag.
Yeah, I'm not going so far I won't get the rock out of my shoe. Everything's fine. Like
He
whatever.
continues.
You go to a restaurant, I'll eat whatever.
He says this it's fine attitude has created our normal lifestyle outside of work being. If she's hungry, we eat. If she's tired, we go to bed. If she's horny, we have sex. If she wants to day drink, we day drink. Or if she wants to take a break from those things, we do the opposite. As
Happy
a
wife,
general,
happy life, yeah.
I think this guy's trying to relate to you, honestly, man. He says, as a general rule, this is great for me. It eases my anxiety, and I prefer it that way. The issue comes up when I do have a strong preference or feeling. I can have the attitude that she needs to just be fine with it and go along because maybe it's a 1 to 25 ratio.
Yeah.
She says this is not fair because I can't ask her to care for me about everything and then also want my way when I do care. I'm not sure I understand that.
Okay, I do, and I think this is like a more generalizable point.
He
important.
finishes by saying, I guess the question is how to navigate this friction, and am I being unreasonable for feeling like by 95% of cases, I'm super unselfish and a pretty good husband, should bank me some get my way credit on the other 5%. Love the show and appreciate any advice. Signed, Anonymous.
I love this because I think this is it's a common thing that people have, right? If I give a lot and I genuinely don't care and you get your way, in fact, my husband even does this with me sometimes because most things he doesn't care about.
Let me foot bloody again.
Not The Rock. Not The Rock.
Just
but
do whatever.
Do whatever. But then when he cares, he expects if he cares that he's going to get his way because most of the time he doesn't really push back. But I don't think you can really, and it's not just, my husband and this guy, this is a very common thing. You can't really do that. You can't expect that if you don't assert yourself at other times, that when you do, the other person should just do what you want, regardless of how they feel and what their needs are and what their opinions are, just because most of the time you give in. That's like really a little bit of a psychological hoop that you're justifying getting your way when you want your way, but it's always two people. So if you don't care and you're giving in because you genuinely don't care, then fine and great. If you're swallowing something you do care about to try to give in and then resenting it, that's
you should
not
communicate
good.
that.
Right. And then when
That's
you do assert your opinion, what we want to happen is that both people say, right, it's a case by case basis. Like his wife in some of these instances, sure, he could say, look, I haven't asked for much. This is really important to me and here's why. And then if that makes sense to her and it doesn't cross over any of her boundaries or whatever, it's hard to talk about it when it's a general rather than a specific issue. But I would want them to both come to the table and express why it matters, why they disagree, really talk it through, have both people be heard, and then you kind of decide case by case what makes sense to do that's a win-win for both people.
So let me ask you this, Colette, because I live this.
Okay.
And sometimes I've realized that I have to lie. And I don't know if this is good or not. And I'll give you an example.
Saying no.
Hey,
But,
it's honest, dude.
okay.
It doesn't matter if it's good or not.
So-
it's honest.
so
it's real, right? That's what I would say.
I
It's
agree,
real.
I agree.
I promise you, I don't care
I believe
about
it.
a lot of things.
Right.
To the point where I don't care where we go to eat. I don't care what we do.
That checks out.
Like,
That is
you know,
real.
I do care about the doing nothing. I'm like, we got to do something. Like, doing nothing, I do
Right.
care. Like, I'll just go do something myself. But anyway, so anytime my wife asks me about anything, just I don't have an opinion, or I'm like, that's fine with me. I'll go along with this. But throughout the years, over 20 years, she gets annoyed by this and my lack of caring, and she wants me to care about something. Okay?
Interesting.
So because I
he's
don't,
talked about this
I
many,
can't
many
even
times.
force myself to care. I wish you gave me a lie detector so I could prove to you I don't care.
I do
about what's
believe
going
you.
on.
Like,
I actually believe you, too.
I mean,
Yeah.
But
I've seen it, and I'm like, oh, I know.
But
he
then you
doesn't.
can't expect that automatically you get your way when you finally do care.
but I never do. Finally
Okay.
care.
You never,
That is almost the
That's how
problem.
insane,
is that
Colette.
he never reaches. Look, you're
That's
dealing with
yeah.
two
You don't wanna-
absolutely insane people, and the
Yeah,
trick
oh,
was
yeah.
to get the relationship expert next to us
So-
to come over and sit with the two crazy guys.
So I will lie to my wife and say that I
Don't tell
care.
her you lie to her,
Or-
even if it's a good lie.
And
Yeah.
even in the small white lies, like where do you want to eat? I do not care where we eat, but she'll get annoyed by me not caring. So I will pick something and pretend like I want that.
Rachel's Steakhouse.
Just to appease my wife, and it works. She's like, "Good, okay, we're going there," and I'm like, "I don't even want." In my mind, I'm like, "I don't even want to go
that.
there."
it'd be
I just picked
interesting
this,
to know what that means to her. Like, does it mean you're invested? Does it mean you care about your life together? You know, like my husband never cares either, and I love it because I want to get my way. I mean, I'll just be honest too. Like,
Yeah.
I love picking the restaurant.
I think she secretly loves it, and she's addicted to it.
Well, no, I think she takes
And
it as if you don't have a place.
And then other men look at
I'm
me.
a sensitive person like her, so
Yeah,
maybe I can speak
yeah.
a little better on this. It feels like because we want you to have like she wants you to be happy,
Yeah.
but you don't care.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
almost
It's
an
all- yeah.
impossible problem
Yeah,
because
Part
it's
of
like,
it-
oh my God, this
Yeah.
is
I have to
never.
pretend she makes me happy.
But part of it is okay. So
I
if
love
this
you.
is
That's
working for you, great. But like,
That guy's got the good.
the ideal is that we fire ourselves from managing other people's emotions.
Yeah.
long term, right? That
You're fired.
That the sensitive person wouldn't be worried about if other people are so happy. You know, like we've got to start trusting people at their word. Like if you tell me you don't care where we eat, then I'm going to take you at your word and I'll suggest something.
But she thinks that by him saying, I don't care where we eat, that almost like he's not checking off on life. Like he's almost like
Yeah, you
not.
should
Well, that's
care,
what I was
like-
asking. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't.
If something's wrong with me.
We'd want to understand what it means to her, and like it probably does have some emotional significance. So I'm not saying it's like good or bad. It's just in general, what people really have to try to do is take responsibility for. If you do care, say it. If someone else tells you they don't care, accept it, right? Like it's each adult's responsibility to express themselves, advocate for what they want and need. And I would just say to this guy and this woman who wrote in, like, have the conversation and both of you talk out what's important and why, and then make a decision. Like you don't get your way just because the other times you genuinely don't care and say nothing.
And
Yeah, this isn't a casino, somebody said, like in
Right.
the chat. It's like, it's not a
Perfect.
bargaining. You don't get to save all that up.
And I call my
then-
husband on this when he does it, because one time he had a work party and normally he doesn't care if I go to those
Yeah.
things. So I just said like, oh, I'm not going to go. Like, you know, I'm not going to. And he got mad.
Son of a bitch.
Yes.
I never liked that guy anyway.
He got exactly. Forget those
Yeah.
4
F
beers.
this guy.
And he got mad.
the worst.
And I said, you know, what you could have done is just tell me that actually because when we finally talked about it, but it didn't come out the best way initially, he was like, I never ask you to do anything. You ask me to constantly go to your events and your things. This is like a real like resentment-y story.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I
yeah.
said,
I
look,
like that, throwing it back in their face.
Right.
I'm one of
right.
those guys.
I'm like, do not do that. Exactly. So, but what I said is if you would have just told, and I did go to the party, if you would have just told me from
But
the
did you make an ass of yourself?
No.
Because if you had,
you've been
you've
sulking
never gone
on-
to buy stuff, it's like, okay, I'll go, but I'm going to ruin it for you. That's what I do.
No, because
Because
oh
I'm
my
a baby,
God.
because I'm a man baby.
Well, we talked it through and repaired. And what I said is if you would have just told me, hey, Colette, normally I don't care if you come to this kind of stuff, but this one, I'd really like you to be there, I would have gone.
Yeah.
And I went, I was happy about it. It's just like a lot of people aren't that comfortable yet saying when something matters. And instead he went to the place of I come to your things and right. And then I just got mad and we got into a whole argument that we didn't need to have.
Yeah, it makes
Oh,
sense.
you know what? Twisted Movies has something that actually makes sense to me.
Tell me.
In the chat room. Good place to end. He says, my wife says she thinks she's not important enough when you say like
I
okay,
don't
where
care.
do you want to eat? And you go, I don't care. It's almost like you could still be completely clueless about where to eat. Just say, because it's not
Engagement.
dismissive. It's
Right.
not. It's almost like, let me help you out with this. Let me help you think of a place to eat instead of like, I truly don't care. Don't want to be involved in this.
Yeah.
That makes sense to
Oh
me.
yeah,
she
I
needs
agree.
your
That's
help.
what I
Sense to
mean
me.
by engagement.
Totally makes
that
sense
it
to me.
feels like you're not invested
I
in
like
the
that.
moment.
I
Yeah.
like that. It's
Yeah.
almost like just change your phrasing and reframe. Because I don't care is like maybe we overuse that. It's like I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's think about how to solve this problem. of where
Yeah,
to
let
eat.
me be in it with you. You know what? I don't have a particular preference.
But I
what
can
are
help
you in the mood for?
Yeah,
Let's
but I
talk
can help
about
you.
it.
That's
right.
that's a better reframe. It's like
Instead of
even if
dismissive.
Colette wants a smoothie, I don't care because I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
This happens in the dentist household a lot. Well, I'm not even hungry. You know, like I don't know. Our schedule here is crap. And then she'll want some place to go. It's better just to be like, well, what do you want to help you pick a place?
Yeah. And then I think it is actually cool to be like, hey, if there's something you feel strongly about, like I'm down because I'm not that invested, but let's talk about it, throwing out ideas. It's usually often engagement. Like you don't want to feel like your partner's checked out of your life.
I like giving an idea, and then my wife saying, "I hate that."
That, we have that too. We have that
Sometimes
too.
in the dentist household, it
What'd you
goes,
ask?
"Oh, what do you want to eat?" I say, "I don't care." She goes, "How about volcano where we can grill our own beef?" I say, "I don't want to do that."
Yeah.
I hate that. And she goes, "F you."
Yeah. It's like I'll poo-poo every. I'll be like, well, give me some suggestions, and then I don't like a single one.
All right, if you want to order your book, ColetteJaneFair.com.
Get it.
Get it now, pre-order, and it's getting delivered in February, correct?
February 3rd.
Yeah,
So
there you
we're
go.
literally less than 2 weeks away. So you can get all kinds of bonuses and freebies, like literal scripts for communicating effectively if you order on my website, but you can also order on Amazon,
Yep.
Barnes & Noble, everywhere.
Available.
The Cost of Quiet.
Audiobook as well.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. Come on over and hang out with us at Tom and Dan Live on all social media. You can find out, what's been going on with us. Great videos by Melissa on there. We're always talking about our sponsors on there. I think we put a video out last week about us going and trying some new products from our friends over at Jeff's Bagel Run.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I love Jeff's Bagel Run.
Man, I could use a Jeff's right now. I need a little pick-me-up. I could use a little Otis coffee and then get me, you know what my new one is? And you did this to me.
Yeah.
That Asiago bagel. You got me back on the Asiago.
Oh, so good.
It is so good.
Dude, I've been just getting the cups of the spreads at Jeff's Bagel and bringing them home because my wife uses them as cream cheese dip.
Put a little dip on everything.
Yeah, because it's they're
So
all
good.
made fresh every day and they have fresh ingredients in them. It's so good.
There's no bad spreads there.
Yeah.
Not even
No.
one. And there's some, though.
The sweet and savory of them. Yeah, get some sweet, some savory. Just hoard the spreads at your house.
I have two.
They stay good in the fridge.
I'll give you two. Yeah, they're all good, but I'll give you my choices would be savory. It's hot sauce cream cheese. I know it sounds crazy, but it's made with Jason's mom's hot sauce, and it's spicy and it's delicious. Has a nice little sweet finish. And then on the sweet side of things, oh my God, banana pudding.
Yeah.
Banana pudding cream cheese. You don't need anything. You could just eat it with a spoon.
Yeah.
It's like eating a delicious parfait or something. It's really, really good. But if you haven't been to Jeff's,
the roasted jalapeno, so good.
that's the one that I think the BDMs like the most. But here's something I do know: there's a Jeff's near you.
Yeah. Just go to the website, enter your zip code, and
Get the app.
They're everywhere.
And if you get the app, you get free bagels, and you can see what's like.
Spreading up the East Coast too.
Oh, I used the Surprise Me for the first time on the app. They have a button that if you're just you don't know what you want, and they're all good, and it saves time. You just tap the Surprise Me, and I got a coquille pepe bagel with, I believe it was roasted jalapeno cream cheese, and it was delicious.
Dude, I tried that kimchi bagel, and it's something I normally wouldn't get, and it was delicious.
They're all good.
Yeah.
They're all good. Even
it's
stuff
great.
you think you may not like, just try it. You may like it. Jeff's Bagel Run, jeffsbagelrun.com.
So I like a good old-fashioned live television stunt. Okay.
Well, I mean,
I grew up with
then
some
you're
of this stuff.
confessing that you are an old man.
Yeah.
Because this is an old man's love. The old hey, this is going on live, or
Evel Knievel's Jump in the Canyon.
It was usually prime time.
Yeah.
It would be in the 8 o'clock hour, right?
Yeah,
Snake River Canyon.
Travis Pastrana and Red Bull did this a lot. I feel like 10 years ago, where they were doing lots of New Year's Eve stunts. I remember one where they jumped a dirt bike and a snowmobile over a river.
Yeah.
I forgot where it was at. And
then he did the Hot Wheels track where he did the loop-de-loop in the rally car, right?
Yeah. Then they did a huge step-up jump. Robbie Madison, another famous dirt biker that does long jumps and stunts. He did broke the record over 300 feet. I think it was over a football field, end zone to end zone. He did that live, and then he did a step-up in France on the Arc de Triomphe.
Yes.
Where he basically jumped up on top of it and then jumped off of it and landed.
I remember that.
That step down takes some balls. You're staring off.
Calculated suicide.
Yeah.
Man. You're like, how do you? I don't even know what.
And he landed hard. He landed a little too far down the ramp. And I remember it looked like I think he fractured his wrist.
It's not easy to do that.
So anyway, I love a good live televised stunt. All right. So
yeah, I do too.
Okay, but let me walk you through this. All right. So what?
I don't even know what you're talking about. So I'm happy. Yeah. Please tell me.
As you hear this on the radio or podcast, it's happening tonight at 8 p.m. on Netflix. Okay. It's called Skyscraper Live. Okay, but so going back to the live.
Skyscraper Live.
The live televised stunt has always been.
Skyscraper. Stallone. That was Stallone, right? Skyscraper? The movie?
The cliffhanger.
Damn it. There wasn't a skyscraper?
It was a climbing, no.
There's no skyscraper movie?
I'm sure there is, but I think you're thinking cliffhanger.
Yeah,
that's
probably,
the climber one. But
cute lady with a short bob haircut hanging from a wire.
So the live televised stunt I've always liked because there was lots of buildup, but the actual stunt itself took seconds because it was usually a jump of some sort, right?
Yeah,
you know. So
Well,
I
the
guess
build-up
the
was
Willindas-
the thing. The build-up, the Willinda was a little longer, but the Robbie Knievel, Evil Knievel, they would always,
Yeah.
it was always they're interviewing him, they're interviewing the crowd, they're interviewing the guy that made the ramp,
Yes,
they're
yeah,
interviewing
yeah.
the motorcycle mechanic because
Yeah.
they know that the jump is going to take all of maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah. And then that's the finale.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like all this. And they'll always do the wheelie. They'll do a couple wheelies back and forth, and then they'll jump, and it's like, oh.
It's funny because Robert in our YouTube chat room is just like me. Robert's like, oh, this is the guy that's going to climb live on Netflix tomorrow. There's so much stuff out there right now.
Yeah.
That something like this, which is a really cool human feat, just gets thrown into the churn, right?
So, okay, here's how I think. Okay, so Alex Honnold is a famous climber, famous for the documentary Free Solo, where he climbed El Capitan, that huge wall, granite wall that's in I believe it's Yosemite.
Yeah.
And
Anybody
it's
that
famous.
says Free Solo, that makes me think of Hope Solo, which makes me think of large labia. I'm sorry. I'm a child baby.
Now I like
Man-child baby.
I really like Alex Honnold because I love his personality because he's like
Describe it to me.
he's the autistic robot, kind of like he doesn't. You could tell his brain isn't wired like the rest of us. It's kind of like a saturation diver or like anybody.
An astronaut.
Well, because he can't afford to have any spikes in his emotion because, like, when you're free soloing something like El Capitan that's never been done the way he did it, and like one, you slip, you die. There's no mistakes that can happen.
That's been said so many times.
but
No, but seriously, it's almost been effed out, right? That like when you're doing it at this level, there can be no mistakes. I don't think people believe that anymore, dude. You know what I mean? Like nothing seems.
I'm sure he made minor mistakes, but I'm saying the ultimate mistake is losing grip of the side of the wall and you die.
Yeah, but you don't really hear about that.
I'm
sure it happens.
You know what? It happened at El Capitan last year, but it had nothing to do with slipping off the side of the mountain. The guy was rappelling down. He was a free solo too, but he was on a rope. But he was rappelling down, and he didn't realize the length of his rope was wrong, and he just rappelled out of his rope and then died.
God. That's why you measure twice, cut once.
Yeah, and so that was, I guess, a mental mistake that had nothing to do with like climbing. Did you never saw the documentary Free Solo, right?
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
It's really good.
I didn't finish it. No, it's not my bag.
It's also
I'm more of cartoons and porno
yeah.
only.
Well, it's anxiety.
Not something I would seek out.
Inducing,
right?
Like when you watch
it's like The Bear. I don't go and load up the show of The Bear because it's anxiety. It's pro anxiety.
Yeah. And when you watch Free Solo, like even the cameramen and stuff were talking about how hard it was for them.
But I can appreciate it, and I think the guy's cool. Like I think it. Now I've seen interviews with the gentleman you're talking about, so I am familiar.
The interviews are awesome. Again, just because I like how dry and logical and unemotional he is, and like he did an interview. Like I get clips of him often, but he did an interview for the Free Solo documentary, and he's talking to some news lady, and she's like, "I don't understand. You tell me you're climbing this mountain with no ropes and one mistake, and you certain death." And he's like, "It sounds like you understand it pretty well." Like that's how he is, because it's like he's
Sometimes I think those guys
pointed.
lean into that though. Because he didn't need to say that. He could say, "You got it." The way he said it, though, was kind of being a dick.
No, but people mistake this kind of personality for being
people that
a dick.
are dicks use that as an excuse to get away with being dicks. Because you could argue both. You could argue that the guy knows that she got it, and if she said that, he didn't have to say like in a sort of like, "Oh, it sounds like you got it perfectly." You could be like, "Oh, you got it, good job," and be more. You could be less dicky.
I said it more of a dick than he did.
Okay.
Because I'm leaning. Because I'm not that.
But you like that part of it.
Yeah.
Because it's the funny part.
Yeah. But I think anyway. So I like the guy. I like his personality. But let's talk about this particular live TV special. They're running on Netflix. So
you're definitely watching this, right?
Not really. Because, okay. So first, the obvious joke is the most exciting thing that could happen is you watch someone die. So, now here and that
Yeah, I get that.
But that's not even a possibility because they're running a 10-second dump on the broadcast, so that if he does fall off to his death, they'll cut it before you ever see him fall. So,
but you'll still know he died
when they cut the broadcast,
right?
Then you'll know he died.
I feel like when they cut the broadcast, just as bad as if they watch. Like, I don't think there's really a difference there.
So
other than if they just zeroed in on it and followed him as he fell, and then like held it on him as he hit the ground.
Yeah.
That'd be a little aggressive.
Which they won't do, and they
do.
already talked about like for morality reasons, they have this 10-second in case it now. Here's what I do believe is this is a relatively easy climb for him because it's a building, right? And this guy's climbed like sheer granite walls.
He
with
cut
natural
his child teeth on buildings.
yeah.
Like.
So the building has exactly the same thing on every floor. So like he's literally repetition climbing, knows the holds. Like it's not
crazy.
With when you watch Free Solo documentary, he talks about like it took him years of planning the right route, and like he's climbed it a million times. He
knows it.
He could do it. Now, but with the route, it's natural surface. This is a building, so every hold is the same going up.
I'd be more concerned about the building give way. I'd be more concerned about man-made than I would be the age-old structure that hasn't changed in years.
Yeah,
that's just me.
With the mountain, you actually do have the ability of rock shifting and stuff. The building is, you don't
think that over
it's
time?
It's concrete glass.
How often are they checking it to make sure it's able to hold a climber? Is that a thing you do with buildings? Make sure that you can.
This has been climbed before too. When the building first came out,
then why is
like
he
a
doing
French climber.
Just for Netflix because they're getting their hand in everything.
I think the person that climbed it had ropes. Though, like this is the longest, or they're claiming it's the longest free solo on a skyscraper ever. But
is he going to have a camera on him?
Yeah. I'm sure he'll have some GoPro, and there'll be people that are like close up, they're basically climbing with ropes.
Have you ever thought of getting into this since it's something that you like seemingly like?
No, I don't like it. I don't like climbing and being like I get vertigo sometimes when I see other people. It's really not myself, but I'll get vertigo when I see other people standing near edges and stuff. And climbing is super hard, dude. Like you have to be in such amazing shape to even be decent at it.
The hand strength is weird because it seems like just like something that you would never be able to.
My
develop.
hands are, I'll never be able to.
Well, no, like just the guys that do it. Like me neither. I'm a drummer. I have pretty decent hands, but like when you see how they're holding on to things, it's tight, but it's also relaxed. It's not.
Yes, yeah.
They're not pushing to the point that their hands hurt.
No, they can't.
It's a relaxed tight.
Because your adrenaline goes spikes, then you start like your heart shouldn't be beating that fast, and because your adrenaline will take energy. It's like a boxing. Like you want to be loose and you want to be relaxed. So and you see like Alex Honnold and other like professional climbers, like they will do pull-ups on fingertip holds.
Yeah.
That me or you couldn't even.
I couldn't hold it one time.
Hold on to it a little bit. Like it doesn't even seem possible, and they could do it. So anyway, I respect all that.
I love that.
But here's the problem with this is we're going to watch, and we're going to start watching, and it's like, all right, he starts. And then he's methodically going to just climb all the way up to the top.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, and then it's going to be too long. There's no huge payoff. Like, even when he gets to the top, like, you're going to see him 20 feet from the top, and you're going to be like, oh, he'll make it. He's made it all the way in the same, it's very methodical, and, like...
So Netflix is betting that people will watch only because of the death, and the death is zero guaranteed that, there is a zero possibility of that happening.
No, even he'll say there is a possibility, but he knows the reality. He's like, I do.
It can't be much, man.
It's a small chance, but they're sensationalizing it. Obviously, it's for entertainment. So of course, he's playing into it. Netflix is touting it as like it being super dangerous. But the problem with the live stunt with this one is it takes too long. Like I think it's going to take him a couple hours or at least more than an hour. You're just going to see him methodically climb slowly up the building,
which is boring.
And you're going to watch it, and you're going to be like, how is it going to keep anybody's attention? Like, what are they going to do? Maybe they're working in some stuff that I don't even foresee. But
if he is he talking to them the entire time?
I think he can talk.
Because that's interesting. That is interesting. If he
but
walks
he's super
me through
dry,
the climb,
like autistic.
if he does the dickhead shtick, I'm in. If he does that, I'm in. I'll watch it. If he's like, if people are like, so how's it going? And if he says stuff like, well, you can see me on the camera. How does it look like it's going? Then I'll watch. Because I'm like, get him, dickhead climber.
Although I'm sure Netflix executives have dissuaded him from.
Oh, ChatGPT gave a percentage of him dying. I said, yeah, I've been doing this lately. I've been yelling at it and demanding
2%.
I'm like demanding it give me a number. He said Alex Arnold's live skyscraper live climb in Taipei 101 on Netflix January 23rd. He's elite and hyper selective about risk. The production is planning around weather and safety protocols. It's 1,600 plus feet. Usual terrain and live setting. It gives the percentage of him falling at 0.5% chance of a fall. 1 in 200. A 1 in 200 chance.
Okay. So
0.5%.
All right.
Does that sound like you think?
It's probably even less than that, honestly.
You think so?
Yeah. Just because this guy
under 1% is what they're saying, but not 0.
It reminds me of my buddy Logic Man Andy, who's a skydiver, who and a lot of.
Hey, congrats to him. He hit a big milestone, did he not?
Yeah, the 18,000 jumps or something, whatever.
Jesus Christ!
But he a lot, and I've been around a lot of these guys where they seem like daredevils, but they are not taking as much risk as it's perceived.
They're smart guys.
And
a lot of them are smart people.
Their whole job is to analyze risk and not put themselves into that much risk, and they know, hey, if done properly and you follow the procedure and do this exactly, then the risk is less than you driving to work.
What they're doing is
the same.
It's a unique hobby, and it's exciting and it's rare, but it can be safer than things we do daily.
And then now the free soloing, the greatest, obviously, and the reason why this is so exciting is the fact that you do slip off, you're dead. But it's
weird that that's the hook for this, because what happens to Netflix? Let's analyze that, because we know he's going to make it.
Yeah.
Let's you and I work in a world where Netflix hooks their wagon to this. January 23rd falls around. The weather gets a little rougher than they anticipated. It's a little more windy. Alex gets up there, and he's doing his normal thing, and the 0.5% comes a knocking. He falls. We all know what happens when he falls.
Yeah.
How does Netflix handle it? I want a real answer. What do you think?
It would be horrible publicity for them. Because it would
it just spin out of control where people start villainizing them? Did they instantly? Because right now nobody is saying this is irresponsible. Not one person, not even us.
Because
we're making jokes about it. We know this guy can do it. It's a sure thing. No one.
It's kind of like Pastrana breaking Evel Knievel's records on the motorcycle. They had to hype it up more.
That's BS, and we all know it. Any real motorcycle guy knows that if you're jumping a motocross bike, then you can do light years better stuff.
Well, he was doing a replica Harley, so he was trying to get as close to what is it?
Not the same.
But even with all his resources and how good he is, anybody in the motocross community looked at it as there's no chance that this, maybe he spins out on the ramp at the end or has a bad landing, but there's no chance he's have a catastrophic failure.
Does it kill Netflix?
No. Even if he does die, everybody will realize, and I'm sure he's on record to saying hey, this is my, if I make a mistake, it's on me. It's not
if he does die, does it become?
It'll be bad, horrible publicity.
If he does die, because I'm bringing up this,
I'd bet almost any amount of money that he's totally fine.
Correct, me too. But if he does, which they're, or maybe that's the illusion, right? They're selling that 0.5%.
Yes, yeah.
That is what they're doing. They're selling that. How much becomes the greatest watched Like people would go back and watch that, right? Like you're sitting at home, not you.
They
'Cause I know
probably
you
not.
hate this stuff.
They probably not even have it to begin with. Now, like again,
Oh, it'd be all over Reddit, all over everything.
they're cutting the feed. They got a 10-second dump, so the feed will never.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
people are watching it live.
What-
They got their world stars up and they're holding their phones up on it.
Oh yeah.
It goes because
Yeah,
I mean, if
the
you
pe-
can,
yeah, the
you can bet
people
if
with their
Netflix
phones.
is there covering it, then
Yes.
average Joe is there with his cell phone covering it.
Yeah. No, and a lot of people are with their own cameras covering it too. So yeah, there would be film and footage on the internet of his death.
Did Netflix initiate the stunt, or did he go to Netflix and initiate the stunt? Has that been released?
I don't know. I would imagine like he doesn't make that. He made Free Solo was a huge documentary, and that's kind of what
He
launched
toured
him.
based on
And
that.
he toured,
Yeah.
and like he has climbing facilities, and he basically is a celebrity climber. But there is not that much money in it, so obviously, I'm sure this Netflix deal is big money, and they want to do more live events, so they're scouring for all these different live. You know, that's why they're getting the Jake Paul business and the boxing and football, and they want to do more live.
Yeah,
'Cause the live you could sell the television or the advertising.
His agent is the one who set this up.
Yeah.
It's his agent's deal.
Because they
Which
probably
leads me to believe he's deadly confident on that. Like, Bad adjective to use, but he's
so how
infinitely confident.
I'm sure Netflix executives, and they've thought about this, like it's going to be pretty boring watching this guy meticulously climb this huge skyscraper.
But you and I are thinking, guys,
Yeah.
we can figure out a way to make it fun. You got to have Snoop Dogg talking about it.
Yeah, the Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg
or
comes
something.
in, they're like, hey, Alex, we got Snoop Dogg here. He's like,
What's up, Alex? How's that climb going?
Or him talking while he's doing it. Like, have you ever seen the footage of that baseball player? I forgot who it was, but like they do interviews.
They do it all the time.
Yeah, with like they have him mic'd up, so they'll
talk to him in the field.
Yeah, in-game interviews, and then that one player that basically fielded a ball during the interview.
It
Like, "Hold on, I
happens
gotta
all the
get this."
time. It happens all the time.
He's like, sorry, I had to make this play, and they're laughing because
Sometimes they get it wrong. Sometimes they miss it, and then the ones where they missed, like one guy was he was on the Braves. He ran to get a pop fly, and he missed the ball. Then they're like, "We'll catch back with him later," because they knew he wasn't going to talk anymore.
Yeah.
Because he screwed it up.
To me, these long, drawn out stunts are not as exciting for me because I'm used to the 1-2 second jump and the build up and then the end.
Also your attention span. Everybody's attention span is lesser than it's ever been.
Yeah. Like it's hard for me to believe that we're gonna be sitting and watching it. Like I'll watch it for a minute, but then I'm like, I get it, and then I move on.
Yeah.
You know, or
Yeah.
I'll watch it at the end just to see him get to the top maybe. But again, it's just so slow and meticulous the whole way up, and it's like okay, and maybe they built in some like transitions that are like focal points, because that in
Oh no, you gotta have listeners leaning out of the windows of the skyscraper in Taipei, shooting him with water cannons, heaving their own feces at him, right? Like that, make it more like a game show where like
Just get pummeled by
like you can vote. Like go online now and vote. What do you want us to dump on him? If you want urine, press 1. If you want feces, press 2. Release the feces, it falls on him, he's still climbing.
Because in his Free Solo documentary, now obviously that wasn't live, so you knew he made it. So it's kind of like, but it's still, anxiety inducing. But there were multiple transition points up that granite wall that they were like focal points in the documentary. Like, okay, now he's going to make the transition from the crack over to this other crack.
Oh, like infamously hard
Yeah.
transitions.
And then
I remember those I've seen.
And they focused on that, and then it's like, and that's you're like, oh my God, because it's insane what he's using his hand and foot holds.
Well,
to-
they also tell you how many people didn't do that,
Yeah.
or where this becomes a difficult part.
Yeah.
Like,
or
I
in
think
training, he slipped a bunch of times with a rope, and then you're like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
saw this guy slip. Like, he could easily do it again.
Or one of them was, because I have seen those where they cut them up into clips and they talk about turning back points. Like this point notoriously is a place where people get to and then they can't get past it.
So there is one example of this going wrong, and it was with a tightrope walker, and it was the Willinda, like the dad.
Nick? No, Nick's the son.
It happened in the 70s, and this is footage that most people have seen on the internet of the old man, Willinda, going across 2 buildings, and when it was a windy day, and he basically fell off.
Carl Walenda.
And it was a televised event, and the wind started shaking him around. He put down his balancing pole and then tried to hold on to the thing, and
it's sad.
And he couldn't, and he just fell off.
That.
And then he fell to his death. And then so that is an example of a stunt that. And I'm not sure if that was on live TV in the 70s. I'm sure it was, but it may have been a cable of some sort.
I'm getting all the details for it right now.
So someone has died doing a stunt like this, and I'm sure it's happened before, but like that was a memorable live TV type of televised, deal. But
that's the hook, like there probably haven't been many of these where like Circus of the Stars, even when you've got like Mary Lou Retton. Or like that's a bad example because she's a gymnast. When you've got, Dynamite, J.J. Walker doing a trapeze, there's a chance that he could fall and paralyze himself. That's why you watch.
Yeah. That's the stuntman's curse, is everyone's watching to see if you don't make it.
March 22nd, 1978. Also, I give this guy so much credit at the age of 73.
No, it's crazy.
Right? Can we hug this man and say in heaven and say, like, you know what? You're just a badass for getting out there at 73. He attempted a high wire walk between two 10-story hotel towers, the Condado Plaza Hotel in San Juan, Puerto Rico. There was no safety net below. Strong winds were blowing, which made the balancing extremely difficult. Some reports say the wire wasn't properly secured as well. He tried to steady himself. He lost his balance. He plummeted about 10 stories, 120 feet to the ground. He's rushed to the hospital, dead on arrival. Spectators and bystanders saw it. Local TV station in Puerto Rico recorded the accident. However, it was not live.
Okay. So it wasn't a live television event.
Nope. The footage we have is obviously leaked from the Puerto Rican television.
Yeah.
Station.
But even with tightrope walking, it does go faster than this building climb. And that's like, I'm curious to how they make it entertaining. And I guess we'll see. Or maybe it's like exactly like I think they're going to focus it on him. They'll talk to him. He'll go, and it's going to be slow and methodical. It gets to the top.
Okay. We're entertainers. So
maybe he works in some pretending to slip. Something like that.
He won't do that because he's too logical. He's not a goof, right? Like, I don't think that guy's a goof. I would do that. Whoa! I love that move when the trapeze guys do it, where they're holding onto the trapeze, but their legs are also wrapped around it, and then they let go, like, oh, and then their legs are holding them on. They're you're being held on by your legs.
Yeah, they flip around. Woo!
Let's see here. I'm looking for times when people, like in feats of strength, have died during like athletic performances, and they're very rare. I mean, like most of these things are they're sure things, guys. These are sure things.
Yeah, and again, listen, Netflix is $1 billion company. Obviously, they are buying giant other huge media, and so they have infinite money, and their biggest concern is getting sued or having a bunch of negative publicity. So I'm pretty sure their lawyers and teams and analytics people are like, and I've talked to them and like, oh yeah, I could do this. I mean, again, there is a less than 5% chance that I even have a problem.
I think I figured it out.
It's a guarantee.
We didn't talk about this. I think I figured it out just using my father's logic, because there's nothing that my dad loved more than a good feat of strength live. Evel Knievel live, jumping Snake River Canyon, whatever you want to call it. If it were a live stunt live, my dad was there.
Yeah.
We're so connected. The world is so small now that live doesn't even matter. It just doesn't matter.
Everything's live, because if something happens...
I can look at a live cam right now of that building. I can go and watch a live cam of that building at any moment of the day. I can see anything I want.
But also, if anything live happens globally and it's an event, it's filmed by people and it's up on TikTok and social media.
In seconds.
Yeah. So anything happens, immediately my social media feed, I can search for it.
We don't need to watch this. If he dies, we'll see the video.
I'll get tons of angles of everything. And then, so anyway, we'll see what happens, but good for him for making the money, because like I said, I like him, and it's hard to make money as a professional climber, and what he's done as an athlete and a climber has been pretty awesome.
Do other climbers, last question about this, and then if you want to, I can get a couple of voicemails for us to ease us into a Friday. Do other climbers like him? Is he because sometimes there are guys that are like known as like the face of the sport, but they're not as well liked behind the scenes because maybe I don't know because there's resentment or
This sport,
or they're probably not like that. They're probably it seems like climbers would be like craft brew guys, or they'd be very helpful to each other.
it's more like the climbing community is like the endurance community at the highest level. Like we're not talking your weekend warriors. We're talking like the guys that do it.
This is like all he thinks about, right?
Like they are totally into it. There are a lot of them are like him, especially like the rock climbers are taking chances. The guy, because climbing with ropes and rappelling and stuff like that, it could be insanely safe, kind of like skydiving. Like you can learn how to be a skydiver and it be insanely safe. You can go and learn how to be a rock climber, and with the right equipment, it's being safe.
Well, another great
it's like-
example is
but
like
the-
scuba diving. You can be extremely safe.
Now this is like the proximity wingsuit flying of climbing, where one
Let's take it 25 steps higher.
yeah. And then one small mistake, you're flying within 10 feet of, and like you lose a little bit of altitude, you hit a wall, you're dead. It's like one mistake, you die. That's like free soloing for parachuting.
Gotcha.
And so it's the margin of error becomes zero, and that's fascinating. But I think more people die proximity flying than even free solo rock climbing.
I think we looked that up recently, and that was a fact.
So the proximity flying and the wingsuit stuff is
it-
more dangerous
It
than
does
free
make
soloing.
sense though, because you're dealing against air, but you're also moving
At with
at very high speeds.
with the free soloing, like there are other mistakes that could happen that you could recover from, like the ultimate mistake, and I guess too with the wing and proximity flying, like you could get a little closer than you wanted to, and that was a mistake. But
That's what happened to the guy that was shooting that. There's an infamous hole that.
Yeah.
Like you shoot, and I guess the way they said it, it was like he cleared it, but he was just close enough to knock himself out, and that's what did it.
Yeah. They
Right?
broke his legs. or
But it was
something.
something. But it was like it wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
From what I'm told, it's like, well, he was very close to making this, and had made it multiple times.
Yeah.
It's usually that.
There's a interview with Alex Honnold and talking about most people, and I guess he was discussing society and the fact that like fear of death and putting yourself at risk is rare nowadays because we're so safe. We all live in a society that's built for safety. It's like we live in a house. We're rarely putting our life at risk at any time. But ancient humans, 100,000 years ago, or 10,000 years ago, our lives were always at risk. So we evolved for our brains to live at, always being at risk.
So is he saying he's built for this?
Well, he's saying that more humans should risk their lives or at least put themselves in danger a little bit, because what's happening is our brains don't know how to handle all safety all the time, and our brains are like giving ourselves anxiety and like fight or flight,
Almost like poisoned by safety.
over small things, and we're not going through the natural I had a risk, like this could have been worse for me.
Well, going on with what you're saying, that would make sense because those natural interactions where you are scared or where it's fight or flight or whatever are natural chemical dumps within your body that you need to have to get energy out or whatever, and those are there's a certain finite amount of that are built into your body that you almost need to have.
And
maybe you even lose that. That's kind of interesting. That's interesting.
Well, and now those same fight or flight chemicals are being released in our brain because we're in traffic driving to work, or we're 5 minutes late to an appointment, or some stupid thing that is insignificant, but it's releasing the same chemicals as a tiger chasing you 10,000 years ago, or whatever the hell, or you actually, your life being at risk, or like you not saving enough food for the winter, or you getting some disease and you have no way of the medicine to cure it, or you get an infection in your foot, like I'm gonna die. And we never think, and now we think we're gonna die because we're searching WebMD, and we have a headache and we think it's a brain tumor, and then it's like, No.
God, when you frame it like that.
Yeah, and it's right, but then it's
No, it makes me embarrassed.
well, we
that
built
sucks.
we built a society that that causes this, and it's not natural at all. But there's ways to mitigate it. Obviously, you don't have to free solo skyscraper to do that, but a little bit of risk is good. Like
Doing hard things.
we mitigate risk all the time. Like we take very few risks as
True.
humans in our society now.
Let's try. We can probably end with just one. Let's try this one right here.
Hey, Tom and Dan. Mike B from the Ono Radio Show here. So, I'm stopping by the Wawa the other day, and, I enjoyed
Wait a
my
minute.
couple-
This is the Wawa where he got the We did that one, right? Where he got the sandwich and the person asked him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we already did that one. Sorry, Mike B. Didn't mean to put a repeater in there. Let's go with this one right here.
Hey guys, I'm listening to the BDM show and about the building and the office, etc. And I'm sure you guys thought of it, but how invested is Dan? Dan, you're already living in Baldwin. Why don't you just sell your place and throw the money into the building and then live there? I mean, that's it. I know it might sound dumb, but I'm just putting it out there. Bye.
That's what we're going to do. I'm going to sell my home, and in order to save the building, I'm going to buy this building, and I'm going to live upstairs.
Well, there's a couple problems with that. This we talk numbers on the BDM show, and there's the ACT, but a lot of ACT listeners probably have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But the person that owns this building, which is 3 units, one being a commercial space that we run our offices out of, and then the other being a small apartment and a
Like an efficiency, right?
the efficiency apartment, and then it's like a 3-2 townhouse that's like above us and in the middle. The Daniel would have to spend a lot more money buying this structure, and then you know what I'm saying, spend way more money.
I don't even know what I could get for my place. I couldn't get
And
this
it's not
'cause
as
it's
good.
not as big.
Yeah, so like his current townhouse is bigger.
And
So
in
he
nicer
did-
shape.
So he
you know,
downgrade to buy a
Yeah.
bigger
But that's
structure.
life. You got to downgrade to die. That's what you got to do.
We have some different plans, but we're kind of in a waiting period.
We're
see,
gonna
but
figure it
we
out.
probably have to move studios, or nothing happens.
Yeah, we've been through this before. Let's try this one.
Hey, Tom and Dan. I'm listening to the New Year's Wife cast, and you guys are talking about Spencer's Gifts and getting shirts there. And I went to the mall the other day, and Santa is set up right outside of Spencer's. And there's all these families there, it's the middle of the day, and they're all wearing their Christmas PJs to get their picture taken with Santa. And the line wraps right around to Spencer's. So, of course, all these families in their matching PJs are walking into Spencer's. And the first shirt, when you walk in, says, "This is my only shirt without cum on it. And who ate all the pussy?" And I just thought it was fucking hilarious to see all these little kids in their matching PJs with their parents walking around Spencer's looking at shirts like that, waiting for Santa.
I thought I thought what he was saying. I had to make sure what he was saying was facts. They do sell a shirt that this is the only shirt I own that doesn't have the C word on it. Or a number 4. That's
Spencer's goes hard.
It goes real hard, hard.
Yeah. And
Maisie does not like it. That's why I should have had a boy, because I feel like your sons would.
Oh,
I
they
could
love
walk around
it.
there with your sons, and they'd appreciate it.
Oh, that's their favorite store, and they love inappropriate stuff. They love cursing. They
love
they
it.
don't know a lot of the stuff, like even what that even
They don't
is.
need to know. They just
Yeah,
know,
they know
that
it's bad. Yeah, they know it's
Right,
bad, and that's
right.
what they love. Bad.
Yeah, Maisie's gotten to the point now where she just has asked me to not curse around her.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It's like being around an adult. Like it's like being around your boss or something. You know what I mean? Like when you don't curse around your boss because you don't want to look like an idiot or a dumb person. Because I feel that she looks down on me when I curse. Like I'm
Yeah. Well, she's like her mom. Her mom doesn't like to curse. So
not very much. You're right. You want to do one more?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
What's up, Tom and Dan? Happy New Year. Hope y'all had a wonderful holiday. Good all around. Listening to the new BDM show. So glad y'all are back. But talking about calling into radio shows and being involved into radio shows. Right before I became a full-blown BDM, I went to the first secret show, live show for the News Junkie. Called in, and I'm sure, like, you know, it's burnt now, but Real Radio owes me like 3 or 4 prizes.
System message.
But
What was that?
What
What the hell was that old man? System message. He's like an old man. Is your computer an old man? Was that was on his voicemail, right? Hold on.
Yeah.
you know, it's burnt now, but Real Radio owes me like 3 or 4 prizes.
System message.
Are you playing video games again? What is that?
Is that
System message.
I can do it perfectly. I want my phone
What
to
is
say
that?
Okay. He can
But I hanging up in my smoking corner of my garage. Love looking at it, even though it doesn't work anymore. Is the legendary snake wine clock from the News Junkie secret shows business. I'm sure there's a few listeners who will be familiar, but yeah, I got that signed by the crew, and yeah, that was pretty cool.
Okay, all right. Welcome back to Remember When with DeBerry Joe.
Yeah, what the hell was your point, Joe? Like, let me call in Tom and Dan and tell them about how awesome the News Junkie
Yeah,
is.
the News Junkie is so much better than you guys. You know what, Joe?
And I got them to sign something and I hung it up and it's way better than your whole show.
They actually gave me some snake thing. It's awesome.
I won't even turn off my system message
Let me
when
ask
I
you a
call
question,
you.
Joe. Do you call the News Junkie to talk about Tom and Dan? Is that what you do to them? Because don't do that to them and don't do it to us.
And you leave your old man system message.
System message.
Stupid.
All right, one more. Last one.
What's up, Tom and Dan? It's DeBerry Joe.
Oh, no, this is DeBerry Joe. Okay.
What the hell? We got 2 callers.
No, but this one, I can feel this one. Okay, so I'm going to do something. This weekend that I said I was going to do, and I'm not lying when I say I'm going to do it. I know I've been really hard on people that wear the new pouch underwear. I call them pouchers, where you have like a pouch for your testicles. And I think some of them even have like a sleeve or a pouch for your you-know-what. And people are like, oh, yeah, it's just a better way to live. You got to do it. Rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, I don't believe it. I think maybe those people... Okay, here's what I've determined in my investigation. I think, A, you need a big one to need those type of underpants.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys don't need them, but they understand that you need to have a big one to need those underpants. So they buy those underpants because they want other people and they want to lie to themselves into thinking they have a big one. But they don't. They can rock just standard, Fruit of the Loom, Army issue tighty whities like I do. They don't need them.
Well, you can just do the regular. Like you can use a new fabric and technology. You don't need the old.
I don't want the new
wool.
I have a problem with colorful underwear. I don't like my underwear. My underwear is serious business, and I don't like it when.
Yeah, but they have like dry wicking.
I don't
technology.
need it to dry wicking. It doesn't get wet down there. It's dry all the time. Like I don't have any of that problem. I mean, like maybe you guys that have leaky asses have that problem. I have everything.
No, you got a leaky ass.
No,
you
I
got
don't.
a leaky front and back. I know that for sure.
I don't like the pouch. I don't like stuffing anything in.
But you're right. There's no need for. I mean, some people need the pouch.
Well, I'm gonna get a pouch. I'm gonna try it.
Not as whiteies.
I'm gonna try it so I can speak on it.
It's like me wearing a big knitted Rastafarian dread hat.
Yeah, to tuck, you gotta tuck your dreads in there.
Because if I wore that, it'd just be no use for it.
I have one back here.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying, like, those big knitted. You know, you put
man.
all
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Put my dreads in there, man.
Mine will just be all saggy because there's nothing filling it out. You see, that's what my pouch would be.
You see? And the other Rasta guys I walk up to, hey, what's in your pouch, man?
Yeah. There's nothing.
What
in
do you
there.
tell them?
You know, it's just air.
In a Jamaican accent. What do you
It's
tell
all
them?
deflated.
What's in your hat, man?
You know, there's nothing.
What do you got in your hat, man?
There's nothing in there.
And you're like, I got nothing in me hot, man.
Yeah. There's no reason for a pouch.
What am I saying? Me got nothing in me hot, man. That's how you say it. Let me hear you say it. Try it one time. Say, me got nothing in me hot, man.
Kick these cameras down. All right.
Me got nothing in me hot, man.
We will see you on Monday.